Hi there. This is for you, Bill Maher. Bill Maher, sorry. You said that the American people were stupid, and I think it might be fair to say that we're ill-informed. I don't remember having a great deal of discussion or commentary except in civics class for a very short period of my educational experience, um, dedicated to actually knowing how government works or how business works, especially how business works. We never learned anything about that. And we have to figure this stuff out as we go along. So I have to say, though, Bill, that even being as stupid as I am, I recognize that the Democrats are usually right and the Republicans are usually wrong. And I certainly understand that big corporations are very often not on my side, and that they don't get fairly taxed. I'm a big supporter of the Occupy movement. And what do I think is the problem, Bill? I think the problem is not being stupid. It's being mentally ill and spiritually ill. And I'm not talking about the religious kind. I'm talking about the virtue concept of spirituality. The virtues of art, goodness, and truth, and personal honesty. This is spirituality to me, Bill. And when people personify those virtues in a person, I guess that's what they're talking about when they say God. As to whether such a creature exists outside of our imagination, well, I can't be sure on that. However, I'm open-minded. Anyway, I don't think it's stupid, Bill. I think it's stupified, and there's a big difference. We have been stupified. When people are treated like slaves, work, what do they call it? Labor slave, work slave, whatever. Yeah, the last thing they want is for us to be educated. And that's what's happened. We really haven't been educated about these things, and, we appreciate your comments. There are some of us who would like to be in a study hall, but there aren't very many around. Not, oh yeah, I know, there are colleges and so on, and but poor people don't have time or money to spend on a lot of things like that. But they've got time to go to the bowling places come election day, and time to vote early. So let's hope that you get through to people. But I think there's a kind of mental illness, a kind of spiritual illness. And what do I mean by that? I mean that people are damaged. They have post-traumatic stress from being poor, partly. Yeah, if you really trace it all back. Problems when they were being carried in the womb, stress on the mother. That has a big impact. Also, whenever our needs aren't met, or we have a need that is unmet because of trauma, we have a sense of need that is pained and that is frightening to look at. If it were never met, then in time, then what happens is it's too painful to look at. So you'll find a lot of people, Bill, are voting against their own self-interest for the same reasons that they smoke, that they drink, that they overeat like me, is because they're not straight with themselves. And there's a reason for that, and I call it pained need. Arthur Janov calls it primal pain. I believe that this is the problem. Call me stupid, but I think that it is an emotional and spiritual problem that the American people are stupefied, not stupid. And occasionally, we might even be stupid. The stupid's going a little too far. I mean, what do you mean by that? It's not genetic. I'm convinced of that. I think it's more likely to be conditions in the womb. It's hard to have a good experience in the womb when mama's worried about the bills to pay. Daddy comes home frustrated and gets mad at her because he has no one else to get mad at, perhaps. I'm not condoning any of that. I'm just saying that it happens. And more in poor homes. Something we don't want to look at. So anyway, that's what I had to say to you, Bill. The American people are not stupid, they're stupified. And that means people are wanting them to be slaves. That's why instead of 80% of our people being in unions, like they are in some other countries, in somewhere in I'm going to sound like Sarah Palin here, somewhere in Northwest West Europe, I think. Almost no one has a voice. And when you're looking at not having an organized voice in an organized, overwhelmingly powerful international corporation, you're pretty dwarfed. Your ability to compete is just about gone. Your voice is not heard, and your rights aren't listened to. It's funny that workers, being the smallest of businesses, don't even come close to having the same rights as the big businesses do. In fact, small businesses don't either. They don't get tax breaks when they move into town. So I'd like you to address this, Bill. Why do small businesses see themselves as that much different than a worker business? Why don't they see that these big corporations and large companies are walking all over them? And why aren't they, at least for unions in those big businesses? I don't get it. You'd think that small businesses and the smallest of businesses that we love to call workers, because that way we can enslave them. Hey, why aren't they together? Okay. All right, so maybe I sound like Sarah Palin to you, Bill Maher, but hey, we can't all be geniuses. And hey, I may be a little stupid, sure. I'm certainly a little stupefied, I'll admit it. But I'm not so stupefied that I don't see who's on my side. That's the question. Not seeing that is an emotional and spiritual illness where you cannot feel what you really feel anymore. And you'd think that intelligence needs to be built on honest feelings. Yeah. And since I tend to go on and on, I'll just stop right there. Stupified.